Hello, everybody, and welcome to another action-packed edition of the OverMark Podcast. We're your hosts, Dave and TJ. Today, we're going to be talking to you about Raw from June 16th of 2025. Got a little bit of the news. We're going to come at you again with another push or pass segment. And we got a brand new segment following that up that you'll have to stay tuned to find out what it is. Maybe it's something cool. Maybe it's not. It's probably something cool. I don't think that we put it on here if it wasn't.
Yeah.
But you never know. You can let us know after you listen to it. And as always, don't forget to give us a follow on all of our socials at OverMark ENT. You know, like it, subscribe, and comment on all of our stuff. I know everybody hates hearing that. I hate saying it, but it helps us defeat that nasty algorithm dude.
The next time I run into that guy, he's going to be sorry that he synced me, if you know what I'm saying.
Right? Start carrying a money in the bank briefcase and cash in on his ass when we find him.
I'm carrying a little bit more than that. I'm carrying the money in the bank suitcase. So they're not even going to know what's going on. Yeah.
Stuff his ass in there.
Yeah, I don't know. He might fit in there. We'll see. I'm not sure how big he is, but maybe we'll have that figured out next time.
Maybe. Tune in next time. But anyway, stay tuned to this time. But here we are. We're going to talk to you about Raw. And the attendance, it says here, was 6,506, set up for 6,552 with 46 available tickets. And this was probably from like 12 hours before the show started. So there's a pretty good chance that it ended up being a sellout. I can't remember if they said it on the broadcast or not, to be honest with you.
Is that Wisconsin?
Yeah, the Resch Center.
Yeah, it's one of the smaller places they've been in a while. I mean, they definitely sold it out, but surprised that is that like the biggest place there? I know nothing about Green Bay.
Must be
corn.
Well, they have the football stadium, which you definitely wouldn't do Raw at. They don't have like a hockey team. They have the Milwaukee Brewers baseball team, but that's not in Green Bay, and it's baseball season right now in the middle of summer, so they definitely wouldn't have it there. I don't know. They got the Brewers and the Packers, I think. Do they have any other?
I know nothing about the place. Completely.
Oh, the Milwaukee Bucks, the basketball team.
Oh, I thought you were going towards another wrestling-related buck thing.
No, not those guys. I only talk about them when we have to.
Oh, okay.
But anyhow, back to Raw. We have we opened the show with Liv Morgan and Dom coming out, and they're getting a mix of cheers and boos. People love Liv, but man, they hate Dom. And they air a replay of Nikki Bella getting attacked last week by Liv. She comes out and she cuts a promo and she welcomes everyone to Monday Night Morgan. She calls Dom the most gorgeous man in WWE and the greatest intercontinental champion of all time. I think the Honky Tonk Man might have something to say about that. That's a joke, by the way. I mean, he's at least probably as good as Honky Tonk Man. The crowd boos Mysterio as he flexes. They're booing the shit out of him tonight. It has a loud 6,000 people. And he tries to speak, and every time that he does, he gets drowned out. I don't know if they're piping in crowd noise for that, but they do a good job of drowning him out when he does his thing. And Morgan says tonight's about respect and reminds everybody this is her division. Says Nikki Bella had to learn the hard way, and now she's watching from home. She criticizes Io Sky for telling Bella she paved the way. Morgan says no one paved my way, especially not Nikki Bella. Declares herself the first and only 4-time women's tag team champion and calls herself the greatest of all time in that category. Well, I mean, you're not the only. You're tagged up with Raquel, but I guess that's semantics, whatever. The chilling look into the camera, or with a chilling look into the camera, she declares, I'm not asking for respect anymore. I'm demanding it. And then she demands a rematch for the women's championship that she says that she never got. And then Io Sky comes out and interrupts her. Yeah, and so far it's been a decent promo. It's kind of a weird way to start Raw. I feel like this is like more of a later in the first hour segment or something. I don't know. necessarily the opener. But anyway, Io Sky comes out and she's getting a pretty loud cheers and stuff like that, and they're chanting for her. She tells Morgan to shut your mouth. She hits her. I can't do a good Japanese accent, but you know what one sounds like. And accuses her of constant whining and disrespect. Shouts at her some in Japanese. Then tells Morgan if she wants to fight, she's right here. Morgan says she wants the title match, claiming that Sky is scared because Morgan has beaten her more than anyone else. And Morgan's trying to tell her, she's belittling her. She's telling her to hand her the belt. And Io Sky tells her she has to earn the title. She can't steal it like she stole Dirty Dom. And that got a pretty good pop from the crowd, and it is pretty funny. Mysterio tells Sky to give Morgan what she wants, like I do every day. And the crowd boos him more. And Morgan says she'll take the title now, and Sky tosses the title to Morgan and drop kicks her in the face, and follows up with a kick to Dom's head, knocking both of them out of the ring, and stands tall holding up the belt as the two of them retreat. And this was an okay opening segment. Like I said, during the talking about it a second ago, I feel like this is like a later in the first hour type of segment or something like that. I don't know. It was all right. What'd you think about this, TJ?
I thought it was a refreshing change from the usual stuff that we get tossed at us. It was cool. I like both people involved, so it was nothing to really complain about for me. They did their usual shit that they do, but it was a good promo. Io was kind of funny when she came out, but it got me to thinking about Dom a little bit, and he gets pretty good reactions out of anything he does, right?
Oh yeah.
So you imagine when he's like turns face, they actually really 100% run with this guy. You think about somebody his dad or Eddie or something like that, and he's going to be up there with him by the time he's done. I feel like.
Yeah, most likely.
They're positioning him.
Maybe not that good, but he's really good.
No, I don't.
The sky's the limit.
I don't mean good. I mean the way that they're going to push him, the way that they're going to use him. He is going to be consistently used, and he's just going to go down as an all-time great, most likely because of, they make the narrative, right? The way that
prominent
they push
positioning, and yeah,
the way that they push these guys, it's not always necessarily the most talented person that is the top guy. And this isn't a question, Dominic's really talented and everything. I'm a big fan, but I'm just saying he's going to be cemented, and think about this guy. We're going to still be probably seeing him wrestling in 15 years on TV on a regular basis. If it's anything like his dad, he's been doing it for 25, 30 years. I forget what the anniversary just was. But I don't know. I know it's a little bit of
he's been doing it a long time.
A little bit of a side turn, but I'm just saying overall.
Hey, he's only 28.
But my main point there was expect more of this. We're going to be seeing a lot more of this as time goes on, and there's eventually going to be a point where he's going to be one of the big time players in this company. So it's get ready for that. It's I definitely think he'll they're doing him right. They're not rushing him. He's got the Intercontinental title right now. He will eventually lose that, and who knows if he's going to be like the people that jump from they take the Intercontinental title and jump right into the main event scene or the world title scene. We don't know if that's in his future, right? At that point, but he's, I'm just saying they've been using it well, and they're going to continue to. That's it.
I can agree more.
Okay. By the way, I apologize if I'm a little bit goofy. I am ridiculously beat up. Work was a rough one today, man. It was hot.
He's all heat stroked out, everybody.
Yeah. No, I was just up on them roofs, man, and it just hits you. And it's what a lot of people don't understand about that North Carolina, South Carolina heat is it's humid, man. It's really humid, and a lot of thunderstorms in the summer, and it'll mess you up if you work out in that stuff. Stay in school, kids. It's my any advice I got for you. But I'll jump us over here with the Queen of the Ring tournament. First round, Fatal 4-Way match. Stephanie Fakir versus Ivy Nile, Raquel Rodriguez, and Asuka. It was pretty cool seeing her come back. her face paint
her
was
new makeup.
great.
Yeah,
it was really cool. I liked her look. It looks like, I don't know if she was always been in that same shape as she is now, but overall, I think she had a good showing of herself. So pretty decent match. We had our boy Oregano in there.
Real quick, I wanted to stab in with a fun fact that I found out about him that I purposely didn't share with you so that I could tell you here. He is a one-time WWE 24/7 champion.
Oregano?
Yeah.
I mean, when we end up go live, like, cameras and all, we might have to get like some kind of like signature of him, like get him to, autograph something and then put it on that fucking wall, because he is the premier referee in wrestling as a whole. Anywhere that he goes, he shows the guys who the number one referee in the wrestling world is. At least
Right. You think about referees back in the day, Earl Hebner, Nick Patrick, fucking Charles Robinson, still to this day. Eddie is the modern day version of those guys. So there are kids now that are watching wrestling that when they're our age are going to be like, yeah, dude, Eddie Oregano, hell yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to believe it, and he's still going to be there. Who knows how long he's going to be there, but their kids are going to be watching Oregano, and he's going to be like, yeah, I watched that guy when I was a youngster. Maybe. But it was a good match. Nothing too crazy to talk about there. Asuka ended up winning it. It was really weird. Like, the main thing that stuck out to me in this match is, like, in the end, I feel like Stephanie just disappeared.
Right. She was, like, in the ring, and then
they cut away.
The cameras went off the ring, and then she was just kind of gone. That was, like, the worst thing that I can be critical about what they've done with her so far. And not that that's that big a deal, but it was just kind of odd that she vanished.
Yeah, I don't know what was up with that. But it was a good match, and I figured it was either going to be her or Asuka, but I guess they have other plans for her now. Yeah. I mean, she did just show up, so they're probably piss everybody off. I don't know. Who knows? Pointless jibber jabber there. So
anytime she doesn't win, they don't have her look bad. It's not like it's.
Yeah. That's the.
And I'm starting to warm up to Ivy Nile.
Yeah, she's talented. She's great in ring, but that's the whole beauty of these multi-man matches is it doesn't have to make somebody look bad. You know, like think about Aleister Black. How many of those has he been in? Not even now, but just think about his first month back. I think he was in like at least 2.
That triple threat with LA Knight and whoever else, Carmelo Hayes, I think.
Yeah, but
he hits the black mask, gets heave-hoed out of the ring, boom. LA Knight steals the pin.
Yeah, and nobody's thinking that he lost that match, right?
No. He just didn't win it.
Yeah. Correct. So, overall, not bad. We got the Judgment Day Clubhouse up next. And inside, we had Finn Balor, McDonough, Mysterio, Perez, Raquel Rodriguez, and Rodriguez has an ice pack on her neck following her match earlier. Liv Morgan walks in and wants to discuss the strategy for dealing with Io Sky and Kairi Sane. Rodriguez tells her that she's not cleared by medical, and then Morgan coldly replies, "I'll handle it myself," and walks off. So there's a little tension between them since she didn't win. Before the match, she did end up telling her, like, you go out, win that match, and I'll do my, I forget exactly what she said, but basically just saying, like, you win your match and I'll do my thing, and we're all good, or some shit. So I don't know. It's unfortunate either way, considering what happens later in the show, but we haven't got to that right. No. So Mysterio starts to follow her out. McDonough stops him, asks him why he's facing AJ Styles. Mysterio says Styles has been breathing down his neck, and he wants McDonough to take care of him. Balor offers to join McDonough, but Mysterio reminds him that he already failed to handle Styles weeks ago. Mysterio tells Balor to stay back and hold down the fort. Balor reluctantly agrees, but then flips the situation. "You're right, but Dom, watch JD's back, make sure everything goes smoothly." Mysterio and McDonough leave. Balor then reassures Rodriguez, "You're doing great." Perez approaches, and Balor tells her, I have an idea for you. Rodriguez looks on, skeptical of Balor's intentions. So, like, she's the only person that seems to be, or the main
kind
person.
Of sense back there.
Yeah, that's like seeing all the shit that old Finn's doing, huh?
Seems like it.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. I don't know how long they're going to keep this fucking thing going with Balor and Dom and this whole deal, but it's fucking been going on for a while. And I'm not saying it's bad. It's just fucking long term, huh?
SummerSlam's what, August?
Yeah.
Probably SummerSlam.
What do you think it's going to be? Finn and Mysterio for the belt?
Yeah, IC title. Yeah.
I could see that.
That gives them plenty of time because Saturday night's main event is less than a month away. I feel like this is a story that they've been telling for so long that they're not going to just wrap it up in the next 3 or 4 weeks.
And I bet you Balor somehow like fucks him over and he's out of like the Judgment Day or something, but then he's like turned face, he's all I think that'd be one direction they could go. Who knows if that's what they will do, but it'd probably be effective. I'm not saying it'd be the most effective, but it would probably work. They might want to hold off on that though. Him being a heel in the end is another like whole deal on its own. When the longer you hold the babyface turn, the bigger it's going to be, right?
Yep.
But yeah, we can go ahead and move on to the World Heavyweight Championship with Gunther coming out and talking about him winning. You want to talk about that, Dave?
Sure thing. Gunther enters to chorus of boos, showing off the World Heavyweight Championship that he reclaimed from Jey Uso last week. He kisses the belt and stands tall amid the pyro and soaks in the negative crowd reaction with his smug Gunther grin. You guys know what he looks like. Got a little bit of promo highlights here. He says, I'll admit Jey Uso was the better man at WrestleMania for one night. On every other night, I am untouchable. He mentions hearing rumors and the crowd starts chanting Goldberg and he smirks and addresses it. And he says, I learned my lesson when I cussed him out in front of his family. I don't care about rumors. Then he turns his attention to Seth Rollins, the guy that has the money in the bank. And he says, you want this title? I'm right here. And then boom, Goldberg's music hits. And it says here in the notes that he hits to a massive pop. I mean, he got a pop. I don't know that it was massive. And, they got his little sparkler shit out there that he comes out through. Not like the Gilberg one, but the actual Goldberg one. Kind of like Gilberg better, I think, at this point. And man, before we get into this, he looked like shit, didn't he, TJ?
Who, Goldberg? Fuck yeah, he did.
Yeah. I mean, we're not gonna delve too much into it, but he don't look great. And so he comes out to the ring, and he's looks like the Ultimate Warrior. He's blowed up just getting out to the ring, I guess. I don't know, but anyway, alleged Goldberg promo highlights are as follows. He thanks the crowd and sarcastically congratulates Gunther on becoming champion. Recalls Gunther disrespecting his family months ago in Atlanta. Makes it clear, I'm going to end it in Atlanta, Georgia. July the 12th, Saturday night's main event. You're mine because you're next. And Gunther looks shocked and quickly bails from the ring. And probably is avoiding abuse on the elderly charge. And Goldberg poses on the turnbuckles to a reaction from the crowd. And I purposely edited that part to just say to a reaction because he got a reaction, but I don't know how big or good it was. And I don't know that I want to see this. TJ, what are your feelings on this?
Were we gonna talk about this in any more depth, or is this it?
Oh no. Well, we're gonna talk about this more later.
Okay. So I'll just talk about the segment. The segment wasn't too bad. I think everybody knew this was what was going on. I mean, we ended up we made a short on this. What, like 2-3 weeks ago? It may have even been longer than that.
I feel like it's been a while because we haven't made shorts for a little bit here, so it's been a while.
Yeah,
we're on the ball. We know what's going on.
Yeah, but I mean, that was the direction. That's the whole reason why Jay ended up losing. I mean, it's, you know, this is how the fucking shit works. But either way, you know, Goldberg's Goldberg, same old shit. He just didn't look good. You know, he looked like a fucking a Ninja Turtle without his shell and like normal skin. Like it just he didn't look good, and I'm just questioning. Like, he looked fucking beat after the promo. How is he going to wrestle a fucking match? If it's going to be a minute, how is he going to wrestle a match? Is he going to look okay? Is he going to have enough time to work out till then? Like, I remember he used to be fucking shredded. But Gunther's good. He always looks good with the belt. His presentation's great. Everything about Gunther.
He pulled a good match out of Pat.
Yeah, so. but no, I'm just saying, you know, you look at him and he looks like a fucking world champion, and I don't, just because Jay lost, it doesn't mean like Gunther's gonna not do well. So either way, this is where we're at, and this is gonna be his retirement match, you know, and it is what it is. We'll talk about it a little bit more in depth later, but segment wasn't bad. The crowd really was not that into this, and they chanted for Goldberg a little bit before he came out, and when he came out, like I don't know, any legend from back in the day that can actually still go. Like, I feel like that was the worst fucking reaction you could have asked for. They were not fucking hyped for that, were they?
Yeah, I mean, traditionally, I don't know that he always gets the strongest reactions from the WWE audience.
I don't know, man. It's a returning legend to fucking wrestle at Summer. Like, could you imagine if Shawn Michaels was coming back to wrestle him?
I mean, that's unfair comparison.
I'm just saying, it's a legend. It's a legend from that time. Could you imagine, like, Goldberg, world heavyweight champion? I guess he was WWE champion, Universal champion, all that shit. But anyways, from back in the day, like, could you imagine, like, if like Kevin Nash was coming back? He would have gotten a bigger reaction than that, right?
100%.
Kevin Nash looks better too. He's fucking in great shape.
And he's cooler.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. What was it? Big Daddy Cool or whatever the fuck he called himself.
Big Daddy Cool. Big Sexy.
The Rock in that one promo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was some good stuff. So,
yeah.
I'll jump in here to the next thing. We got AJ Styles versus JD McDonough. It was a good match. You know, not really too much to say about it. You know,
it told the story that it needed to tell.
Yeah, it's probably what you would expect. And then after the match, Styles ended up holding the belt up and everything. Finn Balor ended up, because, you know, what was that? Mysterio was out there, and Balor ran up to him, or walked up to him, I mean, and kind of like grabbed him and everything, and it was this, I don't know, it was just this weird situation at the end, and JD, sorry I got caught up there. JD McDonough's head, just like, it's so large that when I try to think about these situations and a stupid fucking grin, it just like overloads my whole like processing brain deal, and it just doesn't work very well.
Sensory overload.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, yeah, it's funny they had AJ Styles sitting there holding the belt though and everything, and it's just like that's the match that they ended up announcing it later, right? The match.
I can't remember if they did or didn't.
I mean, I know that they ended up doing that. I just I don't know if it's later on or what, but yeah, AJ ended up bailing out of the ring and everything, by the way, with the title in one hand, grinning from the ramp. So did he steal the belt?
I don't know, because the segment ended and he still had the belt. I doubt that he stole it.
Yeah.
I think it was just, you know, I doubt that the next time we see AJ Styles, he'll have that belt.
Oh, no, he returned it to him, I think, later. Yeah, That's right. I think he said he was gracious enough to return it to him. The GM, what is it, Adam Pearce, or am I mixing them up?
No, Adam Pearce is the Monday guy.
Okay,
right.
yeah.
Nick Aldis is Friday.
Yeah, so he handed it back to him, and that's when he announced that they're doing the match. But I think I forget when they said it was. I don't know. Well, I think that pops up later. But anyways, backstage, Sheamus is seen warming up backstage. He's approached by Natalya, Maxine Dupree, and Akira Tozawa. Sheamus declares, "I'm going to bully the bully," referring to Rusev. Tozawa enthusiastically shouts, "Sheamus, kick his ass!" Like, I don't know. I know I didn't do that very well, but it was pretty fucking weird. What do you think about what he said to Sheamus?
It was very Kai and Ty. I don't know. Well, you remember Kai and Ty, of course. I don't know if everybody else does, but
we'll look them up.
It kind of reminded me of that.
But yeah, they fist bumped.
Yeah.
And Sheamus left. Kind of weird.
I got a Kai and Ty here. Hold on.
Oh no!
Everybody knows that. Yeah.
Oh no! Anything but that. But anyways, we go to backstage and Bayley passes. So Bayley walks down the hall, passing the World Tag Team Champions, the New Day, trying to separate a fight between Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Bayley keeps moving, focused on her upcoming statement. Bayley addresses her attack on Becky Lynch. Bayley enters to a strong crowd reaction. Ding Dong, Green Bay, says she missed being here and shouts out Michael Cole to note the fans' chants when I step into this ring. I don't take it for granted. Reflects on being robbed of WrestleMania match 2 months ago, specifically the WWE Women's Tag Team division she holds dear. Emphasizes she's not here just for big moments or titles, but for the fans and nights like this. It's kind of weird. Like, what division? What women's tag team division?
There isn't one.
Yeah,
which is weird.
I guess you can just, any woman could be a combination, right? At any point.
Yep.
But calls out Becky Lynch, referencing her past injuries and motivations. If Becky Lynch thinks taking me out of WrestleMania hurt me, she's wrong. It made me stronger. So then old Becky Lynch confronts her. Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch enters the ring wearing Chicago Bears gear, immediately drawing heat. The Bears still suck chant breaks out. She fires back, the Bears beat Green Bay last time, which is funny. It's like, you wouldn't think, like, where's she from, Ireland?
Yeah.
You wouldn't think somebody that was born in Ireland would really be into sports over here, but I guess she really adapted to the culture, huh? Either that or somebody just told her to go out.
Yeah, it's a heel thing. You know?
Oh, I know, but it's just funny. Actually, you know what it really probably is she watches fucking wrestling, and she's seen all the old school promos where guys have done that, and she wanted to do the same thing.
Right.
Because she actually does do that in a whole bunch of other different ways. But a lot of people do the next one, but not in this town, shit like that. But Lynch tears into Bayley. You accept being second fiddle. I don't. Just like the Packers. You'd rather have fake friends than a real legacy. Says Bayley used to fight for people, but they stopped fighting for her. When I took your WrestleMania spot, no one gave a damn about you. Bayley responds, I'm a future Hall of Famer. Accuses Lynch of being insecure. Suggests she attack Lyra Valkyria out of fear the night after WrestleMania. Verbal barbs escalate. Bayley, do you remember what it's like to scratch and claw for a title? Or is it your head too far up your ass? And Lynch says, I don't remember. Do you remember what gold feels like? And then Lynch leans on the ropes kind of backwards because Bayley's kind of like leaning forwards in her. And then Bayley challenges her to step up. Lynch says, if you want a match, you've got it in Columbus, but not for the title. Lynch swings, but Bayley knocks her out of the ring. Lynch retreats up the ramp, livid as Bayley stands tall in the ring. What you think about that, Dave? It was pretty decent.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job with that. I like what Bayley does. I'm not a big fan of Becky Lynch, but she knows how to work. She can talk. She can wrestle. It's a decent segment.
It happens in like two things that we bring up from now, but it's kind of strange. Like, what are they going to have, a three-way, or what's going to go on here?
Boy, I sure hope so.
Oh boy.
we're talking about a match. I'm sorry, boy.
No, we were talking about a 3-piece chicken nugget.
Oh, shit.
Or something like that.
3-piece and a soda?
Yeah.
Like, what's his name?
Jorge Masvidal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know if you've kept up with that guy, and we won't talk about it very long, but not going good.
Well, shit, we can't just tease it. What we're about to get sidetracked, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry.
Well,
TJ, what happened?
It's nothing recent or anything, and it's nothing too crazy. It's just he's kind of like a cringe lord now. You remember his claim to fame came from his fight against Nate Diaz for the BMF title. They created it. Well, I mean, the Rock was there.
The Askren fight when he
that's true,
got the fastest knockout of all time. That's kind of where the hype train started.
Yeah, but I mean, what like catapulted him to like the superstar level was the BMF thing against Nate Diaz. You know, they had like the whole marketing deal. They had the Rock there giving him the belt.
Stoppage. Stupid.
Yeah, but he blew up after that, and then it just kind of like faded away. I forget who he fought after that.
He got beat up, didn't he?
We can look that up.
Yeah,
you guys enjoy my clickety clackety noises here. But yeah, we go to. I like going to Sherdog for this stuff a lot of the times, but yeah, so he ended up losing to Kamaru Usman after that.
Oh yeah, dude.
But that wasn't.
Fuck yeah, he did.
That had nothing to do with the BMF title. It was for the welterweight championship, and then they gave him a rematch, and he lost again, but by KO. The first one was a decision. And then he fought against Colby Covington, if you remember, and lost that. And that was like their big like blood feud grudge match thing. And like it was Covington ended up beating him pretty decisively. And then he lost to Gilbert Burns after that in his retirement match. Well, he's talking about unretiring and he wants to come back to the UFC, but I don't think they want him. He has a bare knuckle fighting promotion that he does, I think, and maybe an MMA thing too. He hosts all kinds of stuff. He has some money, but I don't know. He ended up boxing Nate Diaz. Did you ever see that?
No, I didn't even know that happened.
It may have been this year, or maybe it was like late last year. But yeah, so they ended up doing that, and it was terrible. Nate ended up winning, which you might imagine. Nate's a better boxer than he is.
I'm not surprised.
But it wasn't anything. Actually, some people thought he won it, funny enough, but it's just, I don't know, it just seems like he's just begging for attention, and, you know, these guys, it's probably tough for him when they get out of the spotlight, and I don't know, he's just like, I don't want to talk shit on anybody, so I'll kind of leave it at that. It's just, he's just...
Plus, he could beat us up.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess he could. He's a gangster, right? So he could do
we could fight him at the same time, and he'd probably beat us up.
I think that's a pretty legitimate statement there. I'm not questioning that, but he's just a tough guy.
Yep.
You better watch out. If he doesn't,
fight you in the street.
If he doesn't like what you're saying, he'll shoot you.
Oh shit! I hope not.
Yeah, me too.
Sorry, Jorge. You know we're going to move on from this now. I'm getting scared.
Yeah, you can take it out. Take the lead.
Well. Speaking of things, you know, we got a segment here with our boy. And Mr. Jey Uso backstage with Kathy Kelly. She's interviewing him about his World Heavyweight Championship loss to Gunther. And he reflects, I got Gunther's respect when I beat him at WrestleMania. And last week he got mine. We're tied now. So he says if he has to win King of the Ring to earn another title shot, then that's what he'll do. He closes with, say yes, yeet. Yeet. And yeah, that was a all right little segment. Told, furthered his story of what he needs to do. I don't know what's going to happen here, but it was all right. What'd you think of it? And then we'll keep moving.
No, I usually like the stuff with Jay, so it was good. Kathy Kelly's professional and nice little backstage interview.
She's growing on me.
Yeah, no, it was good. I liked it. And then we can talk about the next thing that happened here, which was another backstage deal with AJ Styles and Nick Aldis. And so this is kind of
what you talked about earlier.
Yes. Yeah. It's funny, like how I'm sitting here, like reaching, like, what happened? But SmackDown GM Nick Aldis is in his office when AJ Styles walks in and returns the Intercontinental Championship. Aldis thanks him and says he'll get it back to Dirty Dom eventually. Then delivers major news. You'll have a chance to win it permanently at Night of Champions. Styles smiles, nods in approval, and walks out.
Oh yeah,
another good backstage segment, and Night of Champions, which makes sense. And overall, just a little backstage segment. Nick Aldis is a good good guy for this job. I like him.
Yeah, and he is a big guy. I mean, I know you see him. I don't know if everybody else pays attention when he's on the screen with these other wrestlers, but he's bigger than a lot of them. So it's like when he's trying to assert his authority, it's like, oh, okay, this dude's like 6'4".
Yeah, he's a pretty big guy. Yeah.
And then we get more backstage stuff. There's like half the show's backstage, it feels like, but that's okay. A lot of cool stuff happens back there. We got Bayley talking to Mr. Aldis, and he walks up and he acknowledges that Becky took a title shot from her at WrestleMania. He announces Bayley versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship next week. Billy. Fucking
Billy's
Bayley.
Cool. We'll go with that.
Billy is cool. I like Bayley a little bit more, though. She's thrilled. As she leaves, she runs into Lyra and he apologizes to Lyra. You know, it's been a rough 2 months. Says she's focusing on herself now. Lyra replies calmly, "When you win the title, I'll do what's best for me too." And then they moved on. And you got anything to add to that one, TJ?
I'm not really sure why I would, but I mean that goes with what I was saying though. They are they doing a three-way? You know, what are they doing here? I don't know.
Nick Aldis?
No.
And Bayley and Lyra?
No. Lyra.
The match again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Lyra, Becky, and Bayley. At Night of Champions. We shall see. We
gotta stop saying three-way and say triple threat. Elsewise, I'm gonna always just think that there's some extracurricular activities or something. I don't know. I'm a weirdo, I guess. But anyway, moving on. Why don't you tell us what happened next there, TJ?
Well, with Kairi Sane and WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Liv Morgan. So the bell rings and Sane wastes no time. Immediately hits a dragon screw takedown on Morgan. Morgan rolls out of the ring, clutching her right shoulder in visible pain. Ringside doctors begin checking on her condition. Commentary notes a possible injury as the match is paused. Replays during the break show a hard front bump Morgan took that appeared to cause the shoulder injury. So they start talking a little bit, you know, at ringside, and the match barely even begun. So following her match against Sane, Liv Morgan suffered a legitimate right shoulder injury. The injury occurred just seconds into the match after taking a quick front bump and immediately rolling to the outside, clutching her shoulder. She actually didn't roll out there. She stayed in and everything and sat there and clutched it, from what I recall, right?
Right. She was in for a little bit longer. Yeah. That was bad note editing.
No, it's all good. Despite speculation that this was a storyline except for an outside project, multiple sources confirmed that the injury is 100% legitimate. PW Insider reports Morgan was immediately evaluated backstage by WWE medical staff. WWE is currently awaiting a full medical assessment to determine the severity of the dislocation and possible recovery timeline. You see, those are a lot of big words that we just got tossed at us there. If the dislocation is serious, Morgan could miss up to 16 weeks of in-ring action. The incident is being described as a freak accident with no heat on anyone involved. Yeah, which, you know, that stinks. You know, she's got a lot of stuff that she had lined up. We're talking about that later, right?
No, we're talking about Liv now.
Okay, cool. So yeah, they had a lot of stuff lined up for her. There's no match to really talk about here, so all we can do is really break down what happened here. So she was about to have a match with Nikki Bella. She was literally earlier in the show doing a thing with Io Sky, challenging her for the fucking belt. She has the Women's Tag Team Championship. She's probably like the busiest, most booked chick on the show, right?
Yeah, without question.
Yeah, they have all this shit lined up for her, and she just gets hurt. And boom, you know, that's just how
they
it
were
goes.
Going to probably main event the Evolution pay-per-view with her and Nikki Bella.
Yeah, I think so, since she main evented the first one, and now they're going to have to go a different direction. And it kind of sucks because, you know, they're really getting behind her, but this kind of stuff does happen, and I think it'll probably be about 3 months we'll see her again. But
maybe less. It just depends. how serious it is. Could be a month. It just depends. They'll tell us. We'll know relatively quick.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, unless it's really severe, they'll have her on TV still. She did seem like she was in pretty good amount of pain though. So
yeah.
It's good that there's no heat on anybody. I mean, watching the replay of it, it was just such a mundane, regular thing that happens in every wrestling match, and it's just well, I guess that just goes to show you, everybody thinks that, it's just wrestling. It's just wrestling. A regular little front bump and fucked her shoulder up. Not even a thing that you would think would mess your shoulder up. So
messed up WWE's literally championship plans, WWE women's tag team championship plans, main event for the all women's WWE PLE. It's
we'll see how well Hunter pivots. He historically has pivoted very well under pressure and different things of that nature throughout his career. So I'm sure now will be no different.
So it's funny that you end up bringing that up. We have a breaking news update here, and I think I might have a little bit of insight on who they're going to have main event. They're pulling over another one of AEW's most valuable talent in Nyla Rose. If you can believe that. Yeah. And they're coming on over. It's going to be the best thing you've ever seen. And let's go ahead and move on.
Are you making that up? Or
yeah, of course I'm making that up. Who would want to see that?
I'm just... you never know. Hey, listen, it's wrestling. You never fucking know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know I have no interest in doing that. I just thought that would be a good little pull your leg a little bit there.
Yep, you got me.
Did I?
Worked me into a shoot, brother. Yeah, that's right. Well, back on to the Raw review, moving on from the Liv segment here. We get a backstage interview with Sami Zayn, and he is being interviewed by Kathy Kelly, about his upcoming King of the Ring match versus Randy Orton this Friday on SmackDown. And he says the opportunity to chase the world championship is finally real. This time it feels different. It's going to be a long time before he gets it. He'll get it at some point, though. But anyway, Karrion Kross walks up, and I don't know if you've noticed this, or maybe we've talked about this before, and I can't remember. But, he walks up, and he's got his hair tied back, brother. Like when Sammy ties his hair back. And anytime that he's approaching these guys backstage, he always has, his hair styled like how they would have their hair styled, or, is doing something to kind of stylize himself after the person that he's talking to backstage. Have you noticed this at all? Or is this just a random Dave observation that's weird?
No, we already talked about that.
Okay, good.
I've been made aware.
Anyway, so he mocks Sami Zayn and says, "You're an insane person, repeating the same thing over and over again." Says Orton knows how to win and Zayn will lose. While Orton becomes a 15-time world champion, you stay at 0. And they should let Randy win. I wouldn't hate that. But anyway, Zayn fires back. "You're a coward. You hide in the shadows and talk in riddles." He accuses Kross of avoiding fights because he might not be able to back up his words. I've lost and had the courage to get back up. Can you say the same? And he declares the King of the Ring is his focus. But once it's over, he's going to Adam Pearce to demand the long-awaited match with Kross. And Kross replies simply, "It's about time." And he smirks and walks off, leaving Sammy locked in for his match. And yeah, I don't hate this. A lot of people have been bitching about Karrion Kross not getting enough TV time. And every week, while he may not be wrestling, he is backstage doing some kind of promo with some big named star. Yeah. This is going to pay off, I believe, at some point. We just got to be patient. And it's not like he's the greatest wrestler of all time or anything, but he's a good dude. And they know that people want to see this guy, so they're just doing like a slow burn. That's all. So what did you think of this stuff?
Their little back and forths are always pretty interesting. I enjoyed it. Not too much to go into. It's cool that they're finally, hopefully, going to do something. He's saying that after the King of the Ring, he's going to go do something with them. So what's that at Night of Champions? Is that going to be the end of the King of the Ring? I forget when the final is.
Yes, the very last match, the final for the King of the Ring, is going to be at Night of Champions.
So we're not too far off then. So that should be cool.
2 more weeks?
I believe so. So where does that leave us? This main event here with Jey Uso, Rusev, and Sheamus, and Big Bronson Reed.
Yes,
with
sir.
Paul Heyman at ringside. So it was a good match. They all hit their shit. Nothing really deep dive into here. It was a Raw main event. The
there
crowd,
was like a bunch of outside interference at the end.
Yeah, the crowd was into it. Late in the match, Jey Uso built momentum and hit Bronson Reed with a spear. Jey climbs the ropes, but is shoved off by Braun Breaker at ringside. If you like watching wrestling matches with like great production and awesome camera angles and really cool little graphics and cool walk-ins and everything looking super polished and people not like 5 or 6 people carrying a flag off in the background, this is your show. Even if this match was just all right, nothing too crazy, and the crowd was into it enough, and like I said, it's fucking, these guys are the masters of production, and it's, I can't complain about anything that fucking really happened here.
Nope.
But
who won though?
But yeah, anyways, we got a little bit to talk about more. I wasn't done, so
oh, that's true.
Yeah, Sami Zayn rushes down and attacks Braun Breaker before he can do more damage. Zayn sends Breaker into the ring post and lines up a Helluva Kick, but Breaker catches him mid-sprint, and military presses him over the commentary table. Before Breaker can continue the assault, Penta makes a shopping appearance, launching into Breaker with the somersault senton from the ramp. He got a huge fucking pop.
Yep.
Like
Penta's super over.
Yeah. Like it's so fucking weird because like just watching that guy in AEW and watching him now, like it's the exact same fucking guy. He's not doing anything different. He may be wrestling like a more reserved style. And just his presentation and the way that they show him and his cool entrance and the moves it's all enough. And it's just obvious that the people like seeing him come out and doing whatever. It's weird. Like he's not even cutting these good promos. He's just having good matches. And that doesn't really seem to just be working long-term in AEW, but it seems to be working for him over here. It's like when you have a correct mix of stuff, it all works together, right?
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. So we're at the finishing sequence here, right? In the ring, yeah. Bronson Reed hits a Death Valley driver on Jey Uso. Reed climbs to the top rope, but LA Knight runs in and shoves him down. Jey hits a super kick followed by a spear. Uso climbs to the top rope. Uso splash to the back. He heads back up. Second Uso splash to the front. So the finish was a double Uso splash on Reed, and Jey Uso wins by pinfall. So Jey Uso advances to the King of the Ring semifinals and will face Cody Rhodes next week on Raw. That'll be one hell of a main event. I'm sure that'll be the main event, right?
Oh, definitely.
But yeah,
out of the first match, one or the other.
Yeah, that's a fucking main event right there. And Cody Rhodes on Raw too. Like I know they have been because of the King of the Ring stuff, but that's fucking awesome. Any show, and Punk will most likely be on it. So any show that has Punk and Cody on it, count me in for that. What'd you think?
It was a good match, and it told a good story, and it got us to where we needed to. I'm glad that we're going to be past the Fatal 4-Ways and Triple Threat matches. We've been getting inundated with them for the last month, it feels like. So it'll be nice to get back to some one-on-one action, so to speak.
I agree. And that would normally be what the King of the Ring would entail, a 1 to 2 night tournament that was all singles matches.
Yep.
You want to talk to us about the post-match a little bit?
Yeah, so we got a little bit of post-match shenanigans. Jay's selling on the ring after the match, and Seth Rollins' music hits, and he comes out in a suit, and he's all pissed off. He's taking his jacket off and throwing it down. Oh, no, he threw it to Paul Heyman. And before he can strike, Cody Rhodes comes out. Huge cheers and pop for him. Of course, full sing-along from the crowd. I saw a video of a kid online that his dad had bought him tickets, and they drove down from Canada to Green Bay to see this. And the little Canadian boy was crying when Cody Rhodes came out. He was so happy to see Cody Rhodes, and that made that little boy's day. That's pretty funny shit, actually. That kid will probably remember that for the whole rest of his life. And then, they're fighting. Or no, they're not fighting at all. They locked eyes and stared down, and then Rollins slowly backs out of the ring to loud boos, and then Cody and Jay face off in the ring, and they shake hands, and the show ends, knowing that they'll face each other next week in the semifinals. And this is one of the better episodes of Raw in a while. Sucks that Liv got hurt. Matches overall were pretty good. Promos were good. Don't really got a lot extra to add. Thank God they didn't jam any Netflix show people in this week. Like, a backstage segment with this guy from this Netflix show you never heard of. But yeah, solid show. What'd you think?
Like I said, if you like wrestling shows that are shot with fucking excellent production and everything is really nice and neat and clean and looks great and everything makes sense, and some of the wrestling's all right and some of it's pretty good, and maybe one match might not be your cup of tea, but overall the show's not too bad, and this is the show for you. And I think it was actually fucking one of the better Raws they've had in a while, and I liked it a lot. And they're gonna roll on to Night of Champions and Saturday night's main event with Goldberg retiring with Gunther.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but I don't know, but I give this in a 7 out of 10. This is a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's what you give it to?
Yeah. Like if we were grading it on a number scale, yeah, like a 6.5, 7. Yeah, give it like a B minus, C plus.
Okay. Well, it sounds good to me. So anyways, that being said, we're going to wrap up that Raw review there, and we're going to start talking about a little bit of wrestling news. So, we got Jamie Hayter here. She got hurt. She had a pretty big, lengthy, like year-long injury and recovery process last, and I don't know how to say that, but not too long ago, right?
Right. She was out for like a year.
Yeah.
And nobody knew that she was hurt. And this is like kind of apparently she is injured, and that's why you'll tell us in a minute here what's going on.
So, Fightful Select reports that Jamie Hayter has not yet been medically cleared to return to in-ring action, and this follows her AEW Double or Nothing match against Mercedes Moné. Hayter had claimed that she was fine post-match, but internal reports say otherwise. Her last AEW appearance was May 28th Dynamite. She cut a promo about the Double or Nothing match. Lights went out mid-promo. The segment ended with the debut of the Toxic Spider Thekla, who attacked Hayter in the ring. Yeah. So AEW had some creative adjustments because of this. They reportedly had to get creative with their story direction due to the nature of Hayter's injury. And there's no timetable currently set for her return. So overall, that stinks because I feel like she's actually pretty decent on the mic now. And her matches aren't bad. She's one of the better girls they have over there. But, with Moné over there, there's not a lot of chances to shine with championship gold over there, huh?
Right. Basically, you get to dominate the mid card and then come up and do the job for Mercedes or Tony, and then you're right on back to And I get it, but it is what it is. But hopefully it's not too severe of an injury. Speedy recovery to old Hayter. Hate to see anybody injured. Yeah.
Same here. I agree with you.
We'll move on. We got some more news. A little bit more, not a lot more, a couple more, maybe 2 or 3, who knows. We got and this is going to break a lot of people's heart, especially people that are paying $100 a month to text this girl. People might be asking for refunds. I don't know. Mercedes Moné confirms relationship with the Beast Mortos, which I just remember, hearing about this guy the other day. I'm sure he's been on there longer than this, but I remember him coming out, and me and TJ were talking about it, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on with this guy? But anyway, confirmed couple. TMZ Sports confirmed that AEW TBS champion Mercedes Moné is officially dating the Beast Mortos, following growing speculation after romantic social media posts. Mortos recently posted a photo of the two with a Spanish caption, and forgive me, I'm a middle-aged white guy, so I'm going to do my best here. Entos brazos en cruntu paz. I think I murdered that incruentro word. Sorry about that. In your arms, I find peace is what that translates to in English. This led to fans to believe that the two were an item. Moné confirms when reached by TMZ, she responded, "A real Beauty and the Beast situation," a playful nod to their contrasting characters in AEW. And, a little bit of background here. We got, this is Mercedes' first confirmed relationship since filing from divorce from Sareth Tan nearly a year ago, ending their 8-year marriage. That was the guy that used to make all of her ring gear and all of that stuff, even back in WWE. They were married for a long time. It is what it is. Shit happens. In a 2024 video, she clarified that they had been separated for years and held no hard feelings. We're not going to read all this. She's got a bunch of titles nobody gives a fuck about. She's scheduled to defend the AEW she's scheduled to challenge for the AEW World Title at All In next month. And we get a little bit of information about the Beast Mortos because people like myself don't know a fucking thing about this guy. But apparently he's regularly featured on AEW Collision, which we just talked about that the other day, which is where I know this guy from now. And I don't know what's going on with these notes here. I don't know if I believe this one or not. Widely regarded as one of AEW's top in-ring talents. What? TJ? What do you think of that?
I don't know. I'm never heard of anybody say that. Maybe some confused people.
That's some creative liberties with the notes there. But anyhow, outside the ring, apparently this guy is a pretty successful and educated fella, which leads me to believe that's probably why old girl is, it's definitely not based on his wrestling gimmick and all that stuff. But he is a former veterinarian and nurse. That's respectable industry. And he is graduating from law school in 4 months to become a lawyer. So, he's got a brain in his head, at least a little bit. You can't just become a lawyer, and it takes a while and it's pretty hard work. So hopefully nobody scrambles his melon in AEW with some of the goofy shit that they do there. Congratulations to the new AEW power couple, I guess. What do you have to add to this situation?
Not a whole lot. Just those guys that paid for that texting thing are probably going to be all upset, huh?
Yep. I wonder, and we said this on the first video when we talked about it, and it's probably been, what do you think, like a month since then? Give or take?
I think so.
How many pictures of penises do you think that she has received?
Hopefully around none, but I couldn't tell
I'm sure, I also hope that it's none, but I also am aware of guys on the internet or guys on their phone, and there's been an epidemic of people being weird to women wrestlers, not just lately, but in general, but especially lately for some reason. So I'm sure it's more than none, unfortunately.
Well, I'm sure that she can terminate the talking to those people whenever. So if they send that, she probably can just be like, well, you're done.
She still had to see their penis, though. Yep. Anyway, that's enough penis talk.
Yeah.
Why don't you take us into this next news segment there, TJ?
Well, I'm sure we can work some of that into this next segment if you want, but Britt Baker,
we'll try.
Yeah, to WWE. Coachman thinks so. Yeah, this guy's breaking all the fucking big news these days, man. He's the guy that's saying Vince McMahon's trying to buy back WWE with Saudi funding and all this other shit. But Jonathan Coachman made headlines this week. He had Durham behind the turnbuckle claiming that Britt Baker is this close to signing with WWE. Coach teased a big scoop on air saying there's a female name out here that's this close to signing with WWE. Nice, WWE. Any guesses? His co-host guessed Britt Baker, to which Coachman confirmed, ding, 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 ding. I guess he's a bell now. Gone from AEW, close, which makes sense. She's never really fit in too good there.
We haven't seen her since, November of last year or something?
Something a long time. Like that. But, so Coach said Baker is so ready and even has a WWE storyline built in. He suggested she was buried in AEW for pushing back on backstage issues, stating in wrestling, you can't do that. What we know, Britt Baker signed a 5-year deal in fall of 2021, meaning she should be locked in until late 2026. She hasn't appeared in AEW television in months, sparking rumors about her status and possible discontent behind the scenes. So we're thinking that WWE would sign her if she was available. She's a homegrown AEW star, crossover mainstream potential, and a former top champion. But unless there's a buyout, release, or legal loophole, she's still under contract, which makes this more of a rumor with buzz than anything confirmed. That said, Coachman has broke news before, and the silence from AEW is starting to get louder, I guess. So, I don't know. I could see that happening. He did let Phoenix and them go, so if she made a big enough stink, maybe they let her go too. She's pretty smart. She's a dentist. I'm sure she's got good lawyers, and in the end, he's not fucking showing her on TV, and nobody that he loses is going to make that big of a difference to his television at this point, and just let her go over there. Yep. She'll just make some money for herself. She's not really going to increase their bottom line that much.
Keep paying her to do nothing or let her go. It's fucking stupid. He has a habit of doing this lately, but it's whatever.
Yep, he definitely does. But I like Britt. She's cool. She kind of helped. She was like one of the first homegrown AEW talent that kind of got over on her own. She, in my opinion, like they kept talking about 4 pillars. She was more of a pillar than some of the original 4 pillar guys were. And
100%.
Yeah, she got really good on the mic, and she had a couple really good matches. She had a whole bunch of bad ones. A whole bunch of
lights out match with Thunder Rosa where she got busted open, and that became pretty iconic.
Yeah, she had a whole bunch of pretty decent matches in there, but I like her. She's got a lot of potential. She's not with Adam Cole anymore, so that wouldn't hold her there.
Maybe she's got potential to be with me then. No, I'm just kidding. Now I sound like those other wrestling fans.
But in the end, hopefully she does pop up there, because it seems like her days in AEW aren't. It's not a bright future over there for her. So
no.
And she's like literally like tailor made for WWE. The slower style, the promos, the dentist thing. It's everything. Just as long as they don't stick her with Dr. Isaac Yankem, I think she should work out pretty good.
I mean, as long as he doesn't get too crazy, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
But this has been the news. And we're going to move on now to our wildly popular segment that we just came out with. And I say wildly popular. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. But somewhere people like it. We're big in India, I'm told. But yeah, we are coming back with another edition.
What I heard about India?
What's that? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's not great.
No.
I thought that they were just in a call center scam you, but they're doing that too. Damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got another edition of Push or Pass, and this is where we pick one wrestler getting a spotlight or a major push, and we decide, are we in, or is this a waste of TV time? And this episode's feature is none other than, and we talked about this guy earlier, and you may already know where we're going with this, Goldberg. So apparently WWE thinks the move is Goldberg versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight title at Saturday night's main event, TJ.
Yeah, I know. They ended up having the segment against Gunther on Raw, like we just talked about, and then they they confirmed it and everything with a little thing later in the show. So it's happening, and I don't know. Hopefully everybody comes out of this okay. But yeah, Gunther just won the belt back from Jay, and I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Like, you think he's going to lose to Goldberg? He looks terrible.
No, it's not very believable. Yeah.
Yeah. And he didn't look great the last time he was around. How's he going to look now? He just looks sweaty walking out there. And then I don't know who's calling this shit a dream match, but it's not.
Oh shit.
Yeah, at all. It's I hope he doesn't hurt fucking Gunther, Like it's possible something like that could happen. I mean, I
almost killed Taker.
I know. Well, I mean, and then Brett, but I wish nobody. So what they need to do is have Brett come out there with Gunther. That would be.
Yeah, I saw that meme that you sent me earlier. I'm glad that you brought that up because I forgot about it. That would be great. I'd love to see Brett out there. Brett hates him so much, though. I don't think he'd be willing to do anything involving Goldberg, and for good reason. And since we're talking about Goldberg in this segment, we got a little script thing here that we're not really adhering to for this part. Whatever. I want to take this opportunity, and I'm gonna get real close to the mic for this. Fuck Bill Goldberg. Everybody, and not everybody, but I see these little idiots in comment sections of Bret Hart things about that he's bitter and X, Y, and Z. Well, go fuck yourself. Bret Hart is literally one of the greatest wrestlers of all fucking time. Dumb fuck Goldberg kicked him in the head and then fucking speared him out of existence. And this is after he fucking let him fall head first on the concrete outside the ring doing the ring post figure 4. He cost this guy millions of dollars. He cost him the rest of his career. He could have been wrestling till like 2010 or even longer. I mean, some of these he's like 53 or 54 years old. He's the last guy wrestling from the Attitude Era. We for sure could have had Bret Hart for into the, mid 2000s to 2010s, unless he ended up with a health issue. And his stroke was really more related to after effects from the kick and shit that happened after that. So it's like, whatever. Fuck Bill Goldberg. Love Bret Hart. Yeah. Sorry, tangent there.
It's I don't know. It's definitely going to have to pass on this one.
Big pass.
Nobody wants to see Bill Goldberg wrestle in 2025, and I don't want to see it against Gunther. It's not believable. I haven't seen Bill without his shirt off yet, so maybe I'm going to be wrong. And I know that this is probably going to be like a 2-minute match, and the entrances are going to be longer than the actual match. And I know Bill was shopping his retirement match out to AEW, and at some point he was even thinking about trying to do his own. But none of those things came to fruition, and I forget what it was, but at one point somebody asked him in the news if AEW was one of the people that he was shopping this out to, and he kind of hinted that he thought AEW was a joke. Whether or not they are, that's every man's opinion, but that just kind of leads you to believe that once he made that opinion was set after whatever he saw, WWE or his own was the option, and nobody's gonna fucking do it like WWE does. Nobody's gonna give him a meaningful fucking like title match for his retirement match. It's hopefully they do it good, but like you compare it to like Sting's retirement match that just happened, and it's like it's not even gonna be in the fucking ballpark. Not
Sting
even
had
close.
one of the greatest retirement matches of all time. Him and the Undertaker, like the Boneyard match.
he's not
a couple of dudes with good retirement matches.
He's not going to be able to go like these guys can. Maybe feel some kind of tag.
One more thing, circling back to the Bret Hart thing that I forgot to touch on. Not only did he take all of that stuff away from Bret Hart, he took away all of those potential matches that Bret Hart could have came back to WWE and had that we could have all watched. They could have finished him and Shawn Michaels. You know what I'm saying?
All the Austin matches that they would have had.
Yep. There was a lot that we missed out on because of that kick and because of his recklessness in the ring.
Yeah, and anybody that wants to judge him for it, it's like he's fine to feel however he wants. Have you ever had somebody fuck you over for $20 in your life and you still hold that fucking against them and you're like, fuck that guy? Have you ever had somebody fuck you over out of $1,000 and you've been fuck that guy? Well, have you ever had somebody fuck you out of $1 million plus? Yeah, and like your career and passion. Have you ever been around your grandpa when you were younger and he's sitting there saying like, oh man, don't fuck with that guy, he did this and that, I don't like him? It's the same deal here. Everybody's allowed to have their own opinion. It's just most people don't go around spewing it on social media. Yep. But anyways, that'll wrap that one up. That was a good one there, and straight up pass to where you don't got that buzzer going because we just hit that thing about 5-6 times and move on. There we go.
That was overkill, but and for good measure.
Not happening.
And Bret Hart says,
"You're nothing but a."
So we got another segment here. This is a new one as well. We've been pumping a lot of these out. We're just trying some new stuff here with you. So this one's Manager Madness, and it's a new segment where we spotlight the icons who didn't throw punches but still won matches. This episode, none other than the Weasel himself, Bobby the Brain Heenan. So, we're going to talk about his influence a little bit. He managed some of the biggest names in history: Andre the Giant, Ric Flair, his WWF run, Mr. Perfect, Rick Rude, and a whole bunch of other guys. He was definitely like one of the most trusted guys that they could have talk, and they always put him with like anybody that they. So if you're working with Andre, he has to like you, right? And they have to trust you to be with him. But he's super quick witted. He dressed well. He was unafraid to make himself look like a dumbass or a coward. He would do anything to get heat or to further the show. Like he created the template for the modern fucking manager, basically. He's the best guy to ever do it. He actually started as a wrestler. A lot of people don't know that. And then he transitioned into a manager. That is correct, right, Dave? I'm not just spelling that incorrectly. But,
right. He had a pretty severe neck injury that ended up taking him out of in ring and becoming a manager full time. But it's not like he was burning the world down in the ring.
He was.
But
I heard he was all right.
He was a solid wrestler though.
But yeah, his bumps and reactions were legendary. Whether running from the Ultimate Warrior or screaming on commentary, he always had to do the moment beyond managing. His commentary elevated everyone. Does Heenan have a bigger legacy as a manager or as a broadcaster? Definitely as a fucking manager. But
oh yeah,
he could get anybody heat. Nobody could do it the way he does today. The only closest person ever in history is Paul Heyman, and he is still doing it today. But yeah, he's a 5 out of 5 in pretty much fucking everything.
Oh yeah.
But my main when I saw him, it was him being the commentator for WCW back in the day. You remember him when he was doing that?
Right on Nitro.
Yeah, and that was my introduction to him. And, I didn't know who this guy was. I was a fucking young kid, so I wasn't aware of his stuff then. Obviously I was when I got older and the internet existed and you can look all this shit up. But, man, he was awesome. He had a lot of funny sayings. And even early on in the 80s WWF, late 80s, early 90s, he was like super corny and everybody loved chanting Weasel at him and stuff like that. But he was super fucking passionate guy. He could start crying if he started talking about something he really believed in a lot. Everybody really fucking liked him a lot. Him and Gorilla is like probably like, that's up with like him and JR and King as or JR and the King is like the two some of the best pairings, right?
Oh yeah, watching him do his tribute to Gorilla after Gorilla passed when Heenan was on Nitro. Yeah, it was tough.
But yeah, and it's just he was an awesome commentator, awesome
Mount
guy.
Rushmore manager. It's literally like him, Heyman, Cornette, and I'm not sure who we would put as the fourth person because there's a lot of people to shove in there.
Yeah, but, there definitely is.
Jimmy Hart probably.
Yeah, that literally popped in my head the same time you just said it. But I don't know, man. I loved him on commentary, man. He was the fucking man. He's one of the best commentators ever. That's a completely different fucking conversation than we're talking about now. But he as a manager was awesome. He was able to generate a lot of heat, and I don't know. He's definitely miss seeing him around. And if you haven't seen, so was it the Hall of Fame that they did that with Gorilla, or just with his passing, that speech?
I can't recall. Oh no. That was just him on an episode of Nitro.
Oh well, I feel like he did some Hall of Fame thing or something. His Hall of Fame induction. He talks about Gorilla and he gets choked up then too. Check out his Hall of Fame speech if you haven't. But you know, I'm not going to cite anything fucking because I just can't. You know, there's nothing that I can just bring up out of nowhere that's going to be able to like just look them up, put them up, just. Put Bobby Heenan in on YouTube and just go down the rabbit hole because there's just unlimited amounts of shit you can watch. Right, Dave?
Yes, sir.
Well,
shit.
Well, if you would give him a 5 out of 5, right? Obviously.
Oh, 100%. I mean, at this point, I would have to say that Heyman has probably eclipsed or passed him. Man, I have a soft spot for Brain just because, you know, being born in 82 and being able to, you know, like I got to see him with Andre, you know, during the heel run against Hogan. I got to actually watch that as a kid.
Is he the third man?
I got to see that, of course. Obviously, you did too. Him in real time managing Ric Flair in the WWF. I mean, it was great, you know, seeing him on Raw, you know, just the different shit when we were kids.
Yeah, he was definitely the man, and we enjoy talking about him. And hopefully you check him out a little bit if you're younger and haven't. And if you're older, then you know what we're talking about. And we're going to wrap that one up there. And basically that is the end of this episode of the OverMark Wrestling Podcast, right, Dave?
Yeah, that sure is.
So we're going to be here again recording and get it out for you Thursday, if everything goes as planned. Unless there's like a meteor that crashes onto the planet, we'll be recording most likely, right, Dave?
Yes, sir. That is true.
Yeah, but meteors do happen. But we got the social medias at OverMark ENT like always. You know, I won't hit you with it as long as I did last week, but you know, me and Dave appreciate you for liking and subscribing and sharing and whatever you're doing to help us. Just even if you listen for a minute, you know, we appreciate that too. You know, anything helps, and you know, just keep listening and we'll keep improving. And you got any suggestions for us? Hit us up, and that's about all I got, Dave.
Well, I got something. Like always. If you've got any suggestions for us, I've got a suggestion for you. No, I'm just kidding. You know, please, you know, let us know if there's anything that we could do better, or just that we could do. You know, maybe we didn't think of it. We're two guys, 2-man operation, figuring it out, flying by the seat of our pants. Sometimes a segment goes into the show, and it was something that we thought of, you know, literally while we were doing prep that day, like 2 hours before the episode. So, you know, you never know what's going to come in here episode to episode. So, you know, tune in and check us out.
Thanks, guys. We're going to wrap it up, and we hope you have a good night, day, whatever time you're listening, and take it easy.
Oh, yeah. And I completely fucking ignored you there. Yeah, thank you too, TJ. I appreciate the shit out of you, man. I know you're all heat stroked out today. So, you know, you worked hard, and then you came home, and then you worked hard on this. You're the man.
Oh, so are you. And they were...
Oh, shit.
Yeah, all the time. I don't know what they're telling me to do, though. What's he talking about?
Oh, shit, they do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that being said, we're going to wrap it up. We appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you soon, Dave, and take it easy.
See you guys later.